All right, I see that the players have been counted in, so we should see them starting soon.
And indeed, we are underway here. Game number one, Sigmafan on the left, Firebroth on the right. Two competitors who should be pretty close in skill, so maybe that RNG is going to mean even a little bit more than normal. Firebroth going Prince Leaf top door strats.
Yep, you just got to pick a door and hug it. I see he works his way towards the center afterwards. The Sigmafan is in the center as well. Already shredding that Razor shield apart. You love to see that.
Both of them indeed just working down around the nukes and getting it done. It with about a second in difference on the clock here. It's a 40 versus about a 41. So the gap isn't as big as it appears just due to the slight timer differential we're dealing with.
Yeah, here we are. Collect power-ups once again. The almighty orb is what you're looking for. Rockets, though, a great second thing to get. And the orb.
And an orb. Ho, ho, ho. What a set.
Yeah, people like to say the holy trinity in this room, but if you have orbs and rockets, you don't really need that Razor shield at that point.
Very much a superfluous drop, that is for sure, and I would ignore it at that point. Another rocket for Firebroth. Unbelievable.
Yeah, this will definitely make this room over in an instant. We got a 120 on the clock for Firebroth.
Sigmafan, meanwhile, finally sees the orb, but is going to be well back here, coming out of collect power-ups.
Yep, Firebroth now with more rockets and collect power-ups. Not as crazy other than it letting you keep the control of the room a lot easier. Sigmafan taking out one of the shrapnels and is also awarded with rockets, so pretty equal here.
Good job by Sigmafan to just do a little back and forth rocking, shooting, ready to step backwards, and making that swirl dissipate before it could steal the orb. It is a 14-second lead here as we enter Eat My Shrapnel.
Sigmafan grabbing a second set of rockets as Firebroth makes his way into total carnage. Another set of rockets on the deck for Sigmafan, so not too shabby.
And Sigma's a little off. A little dicey there, and it's going to be a 15-second lead now due to that small mistake.
Yeah, in that room, you can't really gain any time, but you can definitely lose it with anything like that. It's been happening to me a lot lately.
Sigma having to work a little bit here at the start, avoiding the shrapnel, but gets it done, keeps the orb healthy. Meanwhile, Firebroth gets a Razor shield. Could be looking at a sub-3 here out of the room.
Yeah, Razor shield makes it really cool. You can kind of just ignore some of the straggling foot soldiers. Just concentrate on shooting those big groups, which Firebroth is doing at a 2:54.55 exit. Great time right there.
Solid time, and remember, a 5:52 PB, so if the tank trouble is nice and Firebroth's able to keep it locked down, could be looking at an early PB potential entering into the Mutoid Man room.
Sigmafan getting a spreader to finish up the room here at 3:15, 3:16, so quite a little bit behind, but as we've been seeing in this tournament, tank trouble has been proving to be trouble for some of these people. A lot of these people.
Firebroth could decide to go for the grenade or not. A bit of a dicey play, but gets it done.
Having to retreat to the corner, no shame there. Just get it cleaned up and work your way to the center as quick as possible, or you'll start shrugging off some time that you could be keeping.
Firebroth, though, really getting pinned down. That tank is being a royal pain.
Woo, Sigmafan walking in with rockets, so taking both the gunners. Unfortunately got a little frisky and lost that orb there, though. So this could be detrimental even further.
The biggest thing, once you get decent enough to hold the middle in this game, is especially if you're going to be being a little rampagey in this room running around, you got to get good with your diagonal shots to clean up the area around you. Firebroth sees a Razor shield, but will never get there. Decides to leave it. Good decision.
Yeah, even though it might be slower in the corner, it's safe, and that's definitely faster than dying and losing an orb or losing potential time for nothing. Firebroth cleaning up the room. We'll be out of here roughly at 4:29.
Sigma just death-defying with that orb there, but keeps it alive for the moment, fighting back to the middle.
What will the first drop on Firebroth be? See, grenades, not too bad. Makes it a little easy to take out those gunners if you choose to do so.
Gets the ball buster. A little unsure on the approach, but got it done. Mutoid held still and took the medicine.
Yep, for those of you that don't know, if you do not see the orb flying away, it's definitely the damage. But if you see that orb toss off, unfortunately, you didn't get it.
Kind of like that. Oh, a snipe. What a snipe by Mutoid. A little mean.
Yeah, so a difference here you can see is that Sigmafan is on the US version, so you see those lasers constantly going off.
Here's a chance for Sigma, a chance to make up some ground as Firebroth gets an empty drop, and all of a sudden, Sigmafan, another empty drop for Firebroth. We're on the same form. Some crit damage, and Sigma takes the lead.
Yeah, chest popped at this time, a glitch toyed, so that crit damage really did some work right there. That was crucial.
It's basically a whole new world. It's all tied up. Sigma missing some lobber shots. Firebroth hunting a weapon.
Just
Cannot
missing.
get there. Oh no, Sigma ahead on form count now, 40. Unbelievable. But look at this.
The spreader for Firebroth, this is key. This is what he needs right now to catch up. I could even take him to the final form if he can manual it properly. Unfortunately, gets the waggle.
Good job by Sigma recognizing that shrapnel walking at the... Here's one for Sigma. I think this is setting up for a... This is the weapon you need. Oh, look at this. Look at this, 40. It's all over. Sigma knows it too. Just pushing with the spreader. Now takes the rocket. And Sigma's going to steal game one. A straight up robbery.
Yeah, that was all but Firebroth until Mutoid Man decided to hug out some of those drops. Sigmafan getting crucial spreaders at times needed. Some of you may be asking how could they hit the final form at the same time, yet Sigmafan finish earlier. It's all about that transfer damage.
Oh, getting that change into the final form is godly. It saves conservatively. I'm going to say conservatively, it'll save you about 6 to 8 seconds, and that's only if you got some transfer damage. If you nail it, you're talking double digits. It's huge.
Yeah, if you're going for PBs, especially at an upper echelon, it is definitely crucial.
So Sigma honestly had a bad Arena 1, got some good luck in the Mutoid Man fight for sure. And Firebroth, while getting some empty drops, also struggled to track down a few weapons. And that was your difference. Firebroth's huge lead just bled away.
But this is just the first match. We got plenty ahead of us. Anything can happen. Just gotta, even if it was highway robbery, just shake it off, move into the next one with the clean head.
Most definitely. And, you know, I don't know if we can do a channel poll here or anything. And Dino's doing the countdowns and stuff. But, you know, yes or no, does Firebroth even this matchup? I'm kind of curious to see what the chat thinks here going forward on this match. In this match, pardon me. For game number 2.
I got that poll started exactly right now. Who's going to take this match, Sigma or Firebroth?
Well, thank you very much, 40 watt range. I'm very curious. We are underway, guys. Game number 2, Sigmafan winning the opener, struggled a bit in the regular arena, smoked the Mutoid Man, and took the W. Remember, it's not about a great time. It's just about winning those games so you can advance.
Yeah, time doesn't matter here. It's all about the W's.
This game can be really, really polite, or it can be really, really mean, and it can do it to both of them at various times.
So as we see, both with the Razor Shield manip going in, Sigmafan coming out pretty clean on this one. Firebroth about 4 seconds behind.
A mid 41 here for Sigma, and it's going to be about a 45, so about a 3.5 second lead here for Sigmafan. Let's see what the opening drop is. Sigma gets a Razor Shield in the middle, not too shabby.
Yeah, just a great sense of security. You don't want to rely on it 100% because weird things can happen. They can walk right through. Man, shreds that shield away pretty much instantly, though.
Hey, that's just using it as a weapon, and you love to see that. That's good aggression in this room. You don't need it for protection. Use it as a weapon. You don't have an orb. There's no real risk there.
It's actually one of my favorite weapons.
It's pretty fun, especially when you get good enough to use it with the orb, and then you can really do some damage. Like, look at this. Sigma used that as a nice boost. 124 to eat my shrapnel. But look at Firebroth, a solid room on his own right, 131. Given the drops and such, it was pretty rough. We should probably talk about Eat My Shrapnel and the rules of how it works here, as we see an orb for Firebroth. You have 18 shrapnels to kill here, a maximum of 4 on screen at a time. You start with 3, so there's 15 more that spawn in. You don't want to let that number get to 4, otherwise you'll start losing time in the room. It's about a 42.5-second room if you keep it under control and kill all those shrapnels and swarmers. How's that? Pretty good? Pretty good cards impersonation?
Absolutely. The only way you're really going to save time in this room is if you have rockets or a bomb to clear them out, and at that you have to have pretty much been counting the whole time too.
So here's something interesting. Sigma leaves first, but lost a little bit of time due to the lack of an orb, and Firebroth now setting up to take the lead here, having an orb and now rockets.
And now a razor shield, which just makes things a little more comfy.
And that right there was a great example of patience. Oh my goodness, rockets in the middle. Firebroth is back on the RNG train, boys, and riding it clickety-clack down the tracks, trying to get to that bonus room first.
Yep, doing what you need to do in this room, holding the center, firing down those lanes, taking out each group halfway or so, and switching it up. It just allows you to keep control. Anyone straggles out, let them run into you, no big deal.
Very much, and Firebroth, only real threat is shrapnels exploding and getting through the shield. That's about it. This nuke was a smidge too early, but, gets rid of the shrapnel. Still pretty great. Firebroth, keep in mind, that was a 131 at Eat My Shrapnel, which meant a 213. A solid room there for about a 308, I believe it was.
Yes, it was. And this kind of goes to show you what a difference that A, the orb, and B, rockets can make.
And Sigma, knows this has just been not a great run. Again, this time just due to bad RNGs. All you can do is what Sigma has done here.
Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell.
Really? Sigma has done a great job, though, with what's been given. It's just doing the best they can. She is coming in here with nothing on board, really hoping for a good drop here. We're talking rockets, razor. Don't necessarily want to see it. I think it was a foot based on what I saw, based on the movement. And meanwhile, Firebroth back to the corner here, so a little slower potentially. I think Sigma got rockets. Nice.
This could give Sigmafan an attempt to claw some of that time back. I don't know if it'll make do. But now grabbing those rockets, hugging out another corner, though.
More rockets, and a dangerous run to get them. Not the way to approach that rocket set, but nothing spawned out the top. And again, Firebroth just tempting them to steal the orb, but nothing spawns out the door.
Yeah, it's always a gamble when you're running across a door, either that you're going to get killed or get that orb clipped if you let it swing into the door.
So, Firebroth with a smaller lead this time. Sigma has managed to stay in part because Firebroth did the corner hiding. You can see how much slower that strategy is.
Yeah, Sigmafan's not a stranger to the game, so definitely held the center better even without the orb. Firebroth going in, grabbing the ball buster, no problem. Sigmafan just
unbelievable.
Saying, yeah.
And lining up for it too. This could get 2 arms here potentially. Missing a few shots there, a little high and a little low, and gets killed. So didn't quite get the damage for 2 full forms, but did take the lead there with that spreader.
Yeah, Firebroth now popping off that arm. So form-wise, they're tied up, but Sigmafan still probably has about a half form in the lead, but getting dead drops, so that's going...
And finally, Firebroth gets one back here, 40, and Mutoid moves in! What a pleasant tank man. And we should have a Glitchtoid.
That we do.
Bit of a spreader with an invulnerability, but Sigma couldn't do much. Now going for manuals, but look at this! Mutoid's coming over to the side and generously helping. Allowed Sigma to get a little bit of manual in. Another spreader!
Yeah, Firebroth, both of them have spreaders, actually, so this is...
Oh, but Sigma's blocked. Sigma's super blocked. And now invulnerability! That's it. Firebroth's evening this one up.
And another, even though he doesn't need it, another one. One on Sigmafan's side, though, but Firebroth, yeah, as I say, Firebroth's going to kill him any moment now, and that he does.
What a wild Mutoid. How many spreaders was that, like 8? That was crazy.
Yeah, between the 2 of them, for sure. Firebroth got 2 in a row, a shield, and then 2 more.
Sigma with a little check of the screen on the side there and drawing dead at this point. And of course, now they're drawing dead. Here come the empty drops.
Hey, at least it's empty when it doesn't really matter anymore.
And man, that was close. Sigma was not far off from killing Mutoid there. It is going to be 1-1 here. Firebroth takes the W. So we're guaranteed at least 4 games of the possible 5. And I said it on my own channel earlier. This one wasn't going to be a sweep. It's going to go 4, depending on the RNG, probably going 5. I just feel it. This one is going to be one of those matches where it's going to swing back and forth the whole way.
Yeah, Sigmafan noting Orbless that whole run.
Pretty solid Orbless run, all things considered. Had a little raid there during the tank trouble trash that was flying around, and we appreciate that. You know, all are welcome here. Hopefully you'll enjoy the runs. This is our last match of the evening here, but there's at least 2 more games in this match. It's first to 3 in a best of 5. Sigmafan on the left and Firebroth on the right are 12th and 21st seeds respectively in the tournament. And this is one of those ones we circled on bracket night saying, this match is going to be a good one.
Yeah, this was definitely one I've been looking for, and it's showing that my anticipation was correct, because we've seen wild RNG on both sides, both good and bad, both within the same race. So I'm interested in seeing what's coming up next. I see we have a prediction over here. Who's going to take it next, Sigmafan or Firebroth? Get those channel point bets in.
And if those people out there are wondering, more batches coming up this week. I believe there's going to be 2 sessions tomorrow. There's a 5 p.m. matchup. I believe our number 2 seed will be taking on the number 31 seed, CHX 42 versus Scuddy. And then we have some matches in the evening as well that are eluding me at this moment what they are. I'm sure 40 probably remembers better than me.
I do not remember, but thanks to good old Krelos of GG Speedruns, I can always check out the events.
That's always good to have. And we are underway here. Game number 3, top door versus right door strats. No real wrong way to do it, provided you're keeping a decent kill rate and you're getting out around 40 seconds. That's the general goal of this room when you enter. Get your manipulated razor shielding. Get it going. And look at this, 40. It's pretty much a dead heat.
Yeah, we're going to see both of these people out at 41s, maybe a very high 40 on Firebroth's side.
And usually this is the range where you get a drop quick. Let's see if that holds true. No, both slightly delayed. It's an orb for Sigma and a foot for Firebroth. Advantage Sigma. Then a razor shield. Probably going to use this a little weaponly again. But an orb now for Firebroth. This is pretty good. This should allow both to escape in a fairly quick time.
Yeah, this definitely evens things up. Fortunately, Sigmafan getting that grenade going in kamikaze style towards that north door, just taking them, but keeps that orb intact, and you like to see it.
No, nice nuke to finish. Recognized the situation, took care of it. Firebroth saves that shrapnel that was blowing up. It's a 4-second lead. Sigma gets out of the circle of the enemies, just waiting to take that orb away. They are quite adept at it. No problems for both as they are getting control of the room. Firebroth a little more struggly, but should be good now.
Yeah, Sigmafan being blessed with the Razor Shield and some rockets. Razor Shield not necessary, but it just allows you to keep it a little easier and focus in on those shrapnels.
Now that it's done, let's see if Sigma tries to break it on one of the shrapnels.
Will save you about 0.5 seconds, but if you get a little too overzealous with it, you have the chance of losing the orb.
And playing it safe, I don't disagree with that approach. Honestly, it is only half a second, not a huge deal.
Yeah, again, it's not about time, it's just about the win, and losing that orb would definitely do more damage than saving that half second.
Rockets versus spreaders. Firebroth with the early weapon advantage. Let's see, will Firebroth use the nuke? Probably not.
Yeah, it's always a gamble when you use them. You could always lose 2 seconds, stop everything. Even if you see some enemies spawn in, it usually will still stop those spawns and weapons further for 2 seconds. So if you have control, no point in using it.
I mean, there's situational uses for them, but like, it's one of those things where you've got to be running at an exceptionally high level to be able to recognize it and use it in the exact right moment. It's usually not worth it for most runners. Look at this Sigmafan control. A 258. Great room here as Firebroth finishing up here. Won't be too far behind, but has a lot of shrapnels exploding here.
Luckily, gets that last one. 309 out the door into the secret room. Handful of seconds between the two.
Oh, Taco Bell.
I thought we were going to get the second one.
Product placement with Taco Bell.
Reminds me of the old times.
Sigma with rockets on the feet. The God Drop. Able to clean up. More rockets here for Sigma. Great opening drops. What will Firebroth get? A dude over by the door. That is just terrible. Now a spreader for Sigma, and the weapons are a-flowing.
Another spreader for Sigmafan, just keeping this room nice and tidy with the drops that'll handle it.
So now Sigma will have to do a little more work than just obliterating everything. And as I say this, here come the rockets. Look at this time for Sigma. This is a great entry time, 4:04. Firebroth is going to be well back just based on weapon quality.
Yeah, 4:04. That's a very beautiful time. You would be happy in that just with PB attempts as well.
I would take that, yeah, absolutely. So let's see what Sigma's gonna do here. Try for the ball buster. Did not get it and gets run over.
Yeah, with that ball buster, you can hit him while he's moving or while you're shooting, but the little vibrations make it just much harder. You have a very small window to line that thing up with. Firebroth with rockets. This will make easy use of getting rid of the gunners. Going in for the Brysoft style ball buster. And gets it. Lobbers on Firebroth, rockets on Sigmafan, now lobbers on Sigmafan, both going to go for the sweet spot in the middle. Spreader on the wrong side of the room for Sigmafan, but could be great for a manual. Looks like she's going to ignore it and just take the guaranteed damage, though. Not necessarily a bad idea.
It all depends how you're feeling and whether you think you can get it. Let's see what Firebroth decides to do. Rides out the lobber for a decent amount, about half the clip, and now going in with the spreader, not getting any thus far. There's a few. Still hasn't died. Then the vibration gets Firebroth. But hey, Firebroth has taken the lead.
Yep, pop the chest. Sigmafan with both arms off. A form difference between the two. Firebroth now with lobbers.
Unbelievable. Sigmafan is getting jobbed here pretty hard.
Grenades now. Not too bad. Popping the chest on Sigmafan's side. Firebroth with grenades now popping the head.
And a key. Oh my goodness. Game, what are you doing? Sigma's trying to stay put, but yeah, look at this weapon differential, just allowing Firebroth to expand the lead here. As Sigma waits for anything, it's another invulnerability. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the game not doing her any favors at the moment as Firebroth pops the head to take the win of this one.
And if Sigma didn't steal game one, we would be done here, but Sigma with a steal on some great spreaders to Firebroth's bad drops equals that one out. This is why we run multiple races in any match, to try to even things out a little, and that kind of evens that one out. 2-1 Firebroth. I'll have to wait and see if Sigma can force that game 5.
Yeah, and Sigmafan did not do anything wrong. She had that extremely early entry. This was just the game totally ruining it for her.
Hate to see it. You can see the frustration for her. She's not super pumped about it, but hey, ain't dead yet. Just do what you can.
Sigmafan noting it was a gold tank trouble for her as well, so great run.
Oh, absolutely. A 404 entry. You were just feeling good about your chances, and then the game does you like that. To give you context, you take the top 5 runners and give them that same RNG with that entry, they're not breaking 630. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely no guarantees in this game. If you're getting comfortable with your time and thinking that it's going to mean anything, you'll promptly be shown otherwise.
So with that, it's 2-1 Firebroth. Firebroth match point here in game 4. Sigmafan looking to force that decisive and sudden death game 5. I believe there is a poll going already. Is it going 5 or is it going to end here? Firebroth taking it in 4.
I see we have right now in favor of Sigmafan 40,000 channel points versus unfortunately 0 on Firebroth. So let's show some love out there, people. Get your predictions in. Win those fake points.
I stuck my 10 points in the pot to hopefully steal a whole bunch. We are underway here. Firebroth, Sigmafan, 2-1 Firebroth. Looking to seal it out. Sigma looking to make that Game 5 a reality. Let's see how they handle Arena 1.
All right, that's what I like to see. They're basically evened up now in the polls. All right, so Firebroth, Sigmafan, Razor Shields, making both of them taking the exact same strategy, basically hugging the center and then hugging walls to kill out the bigger swarms. Sigmafan clearing the room a little first. Firebroth not far behind, though.
Did you see Firebroth's breaking shield? Take that one out at the bottom. Couldn't do that if you tried, but it looks awesome.
I call that the Captain America.
I like that. That totally checks. So Sigma,
right.
Slight lead, gets a foot to open. Firebroth gets a foot to open. Sigma gets a nuke, another foot for Firebroth, and it looks like it might be a struggle room here for both of them.
As long as it's equal for both of them, I don't mind. I mean, I've said it before, if you don't see those drops, as I say that, the orb comes out, you get to see what they're made of, you know, just raw playing at that point.
And we get an orb now for Firebroth and an orb for Sigmafan, so pretty even Steven again here. 40, you love to see it. Sigma pounding the shots in, Firebroth pounding the shots in. It's going to be 128 versus a very low 129. We're talking like less than a second.
And I'm not sure if it was on purpose, but a shrapnel almost got Firebroth, but that orb saved him.
You always say it was on purpose whenever it saves you.
I do that.
Burgundy not impressed by the RNG, but hey, those late orbs at least allowed them to keep things even. It's going to come down to who plays better, provided things stay at this level.
Yep. I don't mind if it's bad RNG or good RNG. As long as we get equal races, it gives each racer an opportunity to have a fair fight here.
Rocket's late for Firebroth, trying to ride it out here. Probably the right approach. 211 versus a very high 211, so a slight time gain due to Rockets. It is even closer now than it was entering Eat My Shrapnel. Ooh, nice dodge. Sigma is spotting the shrapnel explosion and cut a little hole to move to the right. Smart play by Sigma.
Two spreaders on her side too. Meanwhile, Firebroth getting served up nothing but keys. But now gets a Razor Shield. That'll help take control of the room if you can go and grab it. Patience is the name of the game sometimes, so it's always good to see people clear up the way. As I say that now, he has rockets, so this could catch him up a little.
I mean, oh, and Sigma drops the orb. Got a little too far afield. This could be disastrous. Let's see what the game's going to give Sigma. Try to even this out. So far, not much help.
And then just stick the knife in a little further. Firebroth now gets rockets, finishing up the room roughly at the same time, though. 311 on the other side, 312 on Sigma's.
And Sigma did a heck of a job there at the tail end and had probably played the room better, despite the less enviable drops. Showing that the firing lane's maybe a little tighter, but Sigma got a little sloppy late, dropped the orb. Let's see what Tank Trouble's going to surf up here.
I wonder if Firebroth's going to go ahead and try to hold the middle. Definitely walking in with enough rockets to take out both gunners immediately, so that could help control the middle a lot easier.
A nuke for Sigma, not ideal when you're missing the orb, but does get rid of one gunner. And
Oh!
indeed, oh, Firebroth clips the orb!
Yep.
An opening for Sigma!
As I said, as long as it's even, that's all I care about.
Did you see that tank just line up perfectly to get shot on Sigma's side? That was nice. Meanwhile, rockets for Firebroth on the feet there, just trying to take control now, and is going to probably struggle without any help. The Razor Shield's going to help, though. We'll be able to hold the middle for a bit.
Sigmafan with the replacement orb, using it wisely, now getting rockets, so this will make the room a lot cleaner for her.
Sigma not making use of tap shooting here, but you know what? Just trying to get that kill rate high, and it is going to be Sigma out first, it appears. With the orb intact, it's going to be a 4-31. Well, Firebroth is still struggling along here. Gets shot by the tank. You can see the frustration reaction there. And is the end of the room. Can't kill the shrapnel. This lead is going to be fairly large. We're talking about, what, 14 seconds?
Just about.
Sigmafan
again.
What a ball buster!
Yeah, that was professional right there.
I would not even attempt that. That was fantastic.
Mutoid Man moving around, you're shooting him, so he's vibrating on top of that. That's just a great shot.
Spreader for Sigmafan. Here comes Mutoid, lining up to take the damage, setting up for a potential glitch toy. Depends on the drop where it is. It's another spreader. Dies, though. Oh, no.
Oh, too late.
Was pushing for every piece of damage, but you gotta notice when that shield's breaking. Spreader in the feet for Firebroth.
Yep, Sigmafan now, though, 3 forms ahead. We'll make that 2 forms. Spreader on deck for Firebroth, though, so he gets a refill. Still going in manual, though.
I don't think he recognized it, just kind of ran into it. But either way, gets a form with the manuals there. Very nice. But still a lead for Sigma.
Yeah, both popping a form at the same time, so same amount of lead for Sigmafan, about 2 forms here.
Final form, great lobber damage there as Sigma's getting rockets to start. Sigma's going to have to go fast here. Can't quite get there. Chest popped on Firebroth's side.
Lobbers for Sigma, so as long as they can keep them lined up, this should help do it, if not take care of it all the way.
And Sigma sticking with the lobber gets it done, and we are going to a game number 5. Oh man, Sigma's aggressive play and the firing lanes in Total Carnage before losing that orb really, really helped her. It is going to be a deciding game 5, and let's just hope the RNG is fairly fair like it was in this one.
Yep, I was excited for this matchup, and it's not disappointing. We're taking this one all the way. Second match of the tournament so far to do so, I believe. So it's great to see. I believe last year it was basically a week or 2 of clean sweeps, so I'm glad we're not seeing that. Firebroth finishing it off. Rockets, Lobber should take care of it as long as he manages to actually hit him. Staying in those shots. There you go. 706 head pop, so that should put it roughly, an 18. Or a 22 because you're not paying attention. So here we are going to game 5. Match point for both of them. Chat, who's taking it? This is for all the marbles.
Firebroth has been known to have some incredible sudden death game performances. Last year, though, ran into a shooting star in Scotty, who won the opening week matchup, who then lost in the second round. We then made a heck of a run in the bottom half of the bracket. So is this Sigma's chance, or is Firebroth going to reignite some of that 5th annual magic? We'll have to wait and see. I think Sigma's due. I'm going to call it. I think Sigma takes this one. She has been taking some bad beats in the tournaments. It's time for her to get the W in a deciding game.
Yep, I kind of feel the same way, but I'm not putting Firebroth fully out. As long as they get fair matches, this could be anyone's.
Oh, most definitely. Looking forward to it here. I'm sure they'll be underway momentarily. In chat, everyone, rouse anyone you know who's not here. Tell them it's happening right now. Game number 5. You love these game number 5s. I think this is our 4th one already in the opening round, which is definitely a record.
I see at least points-wise, the favoring is slightly in Sigmafan's favor. As I say that, it jumps to Firebroth's favor, so even chat is unsure where this is going.
It's been a pretty even match. Sigma's been a little more aggressive, and at times the RNG has just been wildly swinging around. Let's see how it's going to play out. Sigma does not break the shield, tried though, and it's going to be basically a dead heat here. But the whole shot, I believe. You know what? I think it's just even. I don't think there is a whole shot.
Yeah, that's even. I mean, it looked like Firebroth was slightly in play. I don't know if there's frame rules going on here, but now they look exactly lined up.
It's a grenade versus a foot. The drop was slightly quicker for Firebroth. I'm not sure what that means to anybody. But man, these drops are not ideal. At least Sigma got a weapon in a spreader, but that won't last too much longer. What's next, 40?
More feet for Firebroth, unfortunately. Grenades by Sigmafan. Is she going to take it? Nope, she's going to ignore it. Opting for the better shooting lanes rather than the chance to get the orb. Going for that.
Back-to-back nades for Firebroth. This is heinous.
Rockets for Sigmafan, though, and that will finish up the room at a 128.
I wonder what goes through your mind. You're thinking, I got nothing. I got to be in trouble here. Unless you're someone who watches the race or keeps it on the side. I personally hate that. I want to race my own race.
Yeah, I always assume I'm behind if I'm getting served nothing.
You got to think so, but all you can do is just ball out even harder without being stupid. And look at that. The orb will go to Firebroth, despite trailing, will get the first orb.
Yep, not so much of a difference other than making the room a little easier here, but it will come into a play later, definitely.
Sigma now using the rockets very efficiently, just killing the Shraps and getting ready to leave the room at 211. Firebroth, meanwhile, having a bit of trouble here, needs to just focus up and kill these guys. Time's burning right now.
Yeah, that ending was a little dirty. 222 on the exit, so hopefully this orb gives him the advantage if Firebroth does, or I mean if Sigmafan does not get one at this moment.
And rockets to start here for Firebroth. And again, Sigmafan's got to be thinking, I'm not going to go orbless again, am I?
Hopefully not. I want to see a fair fight here.
A key, oh boy, game, you are really stretching the limits of credibility. Finally an orb here. What a move. Did you see that, 40? What a great cut.
Yeah, absolutely. Also getting rewarded with rockets for doing the fancy footwork, so hopefully this will keep her in play. Not lose too much time against Firebroth. I know he came in behind her, so
11 seconds behind.
Razor Shield now will just help finish this up for Sigmafan, definitely.
And it looks like Sigma is going to maintain the lead, but not by much. A 319 versus a 320. We have a 1 second game here, and you know, there's no time for product placement. This is serious business, boys.
Yeah, in these races too, at least as a runner, the secret room I love. It gives you a moment to just recompose yourself, whether things have been going bad or if even things have been going good. Just gives you a second to chill, catch your breath, and move into tank trouble, which is definitely the biggest pain of this run.
And a rocket to start for Sigma. It's a long way away. Meanwhile, it's a spreader for Firebroth. Another long way away. Both getting the weapons. Now rockets for Firebroth. You do love to see that.
Yeah, and in this unfortunately clipping the orb. So unless he gets one soon, this is going to be Sigmafan's opportunity to pull away here.
Just to get that lead, we always say you're just kind of buying a few extra tickets by having the lead in a Mutoid, man. That's all you're really doing. You're getting a few extra scratch tickets, that's all.
Yep, absolutely. Seeing the frustration on Firebroth as he took that death there, but being rewarded yet another orb, so the game even wants to see this evened up.
And a nice patient move by Firebroth, who has to get out of that corner. It's a 4:34 for Sigma, leading into the room in this deciding game. Rockets in the middle, and picks off the tank beautifully using the orb, and it will be about a 12-second lead or so as Sigma gets rockets to open.
Yeah, rockets are always a nice little opener. Everyone wants that spreader, but rockets are the most direct way to get rid of that.
I love this. Sigma hit the ball buster. Vulnerability's disappearing. Takes the death maybe a little early, and it was delayed, but that was good with the rockets. Firebroth, meanwhile, trying to get into the ball buster position. That was another crazy good ball buster. Unbelievable here, guys. This is the best set of ball busting you will ever see. Take that how you will.
All right, one form in the lead for Sigmafan. Oh, actually, they're about tied up form-wise. Maybe Sigmafan a little ahead, both with lobbers hitting that sweet spot. Firebroth going a little wacky there, but still keeping it maintained.
Firebroth, slight lead here. Slight lead, Firebroth. Sigma looking for a weapon here. It's a lobber. Gets it. Has to avoid the shots. More lobbers showing up for Firebroth. This has been a crazy game number 5. There's a spreader, but Sigma will not be able to get to it, just focusing on the lobber.
Yeah, both popping the chest roughly at the same time, but Firebroth just getting those good orb shot
Oh
or lobber
no,
shots
it's
in.
about a 1-form lead.
Yeah, popping the head as I was saying that.
Oh, this is pretty much ball game. If Firebroth can get this, it is not looking good for Sigma. Unfortunately, oh, but
Oh my God.
It's all stolen. The damage is stolen.
I mean, if anything's gonna steal it, at least lobbers, but you hate to see it.
Still got enough, and Firebroth is going to advance. Sigma again played an overall better arena, regular arena, but Mutoid Man just will not cut her a break.
Yeah, but it was slight. I mean, it was pretty much unfair at the beginning, but then it evened up as they were coming into tank trouble. So, you know, at that point, it is just Mutoid Man, really.
I mean, you got to feel for Sigma. She spent over half of the regular arenas, well over half, without an orb on this particular matchup. That is a tough road to hoe. And unfortunately, Sigma will be dropping to the second chance. You can see the disappointment there. But and a little bit of relief for Firebroth, I got to say.